In this problem, we're given that sine A is equal to -5/13 in quadrant 3, and we're given sine B is equal to -7/25 in quadrant 4. And then it wants us to find sine of A plus B. To solve this problem, the first thing I like to do is just go ahead and draw our triangles. And in this problem, we've got two. We've got one of them down here in quadrant 3, and then we have one of them in quadrant 4. So this is A and this is B. Okay, so after we've got our triangles drawn, it tells us that sine of A is equal to -5/13. So for this triangle, we'll need to figure out what cosine of A is equal to. And then over here, it tells us sine of B is equal to -7/25. And then we'll need to figure out what cosine of B is equal to. All right, so we know the opposite side is -5. The hypotenuse is 13. And then over here, we know our opposite side's -7, and the hypotenuse is 25. So now we need to solve for x, which is our missing side. And we're going to do the same thing on this triangle. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 13 squared minus 5 squared, which means x is equal to plus or minus the square root, where x is equal to plus or minus 12. So in this case, we're going to take the negative because in quadrant 3, we're going into the negative x direction. So x is equal to -12, which means the cosine of A is -12/13. Now we need to do the same thing for this side. So for this side, we get x is equal to plus or minus the square root 25 squared minus 7 squared, which gives us x is equal to plus or minus the square root 567, or sorry, 576, which means x is equal to plus or minus 24. Now that we have that, we know what cosine of B is, and in this case, our x is positive because we're going in the positive x direction. So this one's going to be 24/25. The last thing we need to do is look at our formula for sine of A plus sine of B, and that formula is sine A plus B is equal to sine of A times cosine of B plus the cosine of A sine of B. So now that we found all these values down here, we just need to plug them into this formula and get our answer. So sine of A is -5/13 times our cosine of B, which is 24/25, plus our cosine of A, which is -12/13, times our sine of B, which is -7/25. And throwing this into the calculator, we end up with negative 36 over 325, the sine of a plus b, and this is our answer.